Hello, Pink Collective, and welcome to Pink After Dark, where scary stories meet a cute but dark aesthetic. Tonight's tales blur the line between true and fictional, so get comfortable, turn down the lights, and let's begin. Before we begin, a quick note. Tonight's stories may contain themes of stalking, fear, and psychological tension. Listeners' discretion is advised. If you're sensitive to these topics, feel free to skip the episode and join us again after dark. All stories live somewhere between fact and fiction. Details may be altered and identities are always protected. This channel exists for storytelling and atmosphere, not to present verified accounts. Secret Admirer. The first note appeared on a Tuesday. I found it wedged into the vent slats of my locker, folded into a perfect square. The paper was cream-colored, expensive looking, and when I unfolded it, the handwriting was neat and slanted, like someone had practiced cursive until it became second nature. You looked beautiful today in that green sweater. It brings out your eyes. No one else notices, but I do. My stomach twisted. I glanced down the hallway, half expecting to see Madison, Bree, and Serena huddled together, waiting for my reaction. They'd done worse before, the fake love letter from Jack Peterson that I'd actually believed for 3 humiliating days. The rumor that I tried to kiss Mr. Harrison after class. The doctored photo of me in the locker room that made the rounds on everyone's phones. But the hallway was empty except for a few stragglers heading to fourth period. I crumbled the note and shoved it deep into my backpack. Just another joke, just another way to remind me I didn't belong. The second note came 2 days later, tucked into my chemistry textbook. I discovered it when the book fell open to reveal the cream paper, pressed between page 247 and 248. I saw you crying in the bathroom yesterday. You think no one notices, but I see everything. The way you bite your lip when you're trying not to cry. The way you hug your books to your chest like armor. You're stronger than you know. My hands trembled as I read it. Yesterday I had cried in the bathroom. Third stall from the left. During lunch period after Serena had loudly asked the cafeteria if anyone could smell something desperate and pathetic. But the bathroom had been empty. I checked, hadn't I? I looked around the library where I'd been studying. The other students were absorbed in their own work, oblivious. I folded the note carefully and slipped it into my pocket, my heart hammering against my ribs. That night I found another taped to my bedroom window. I lived on the second floor. I know you feel invisible. I know they make you feel small. But you're not invisible to me. I see you, Emma. I've always seen you. I backed away from the window so fast, I knocked over my desk chair. It clattered to the floor and my mom called up and asked if I was okay. I told her I was fine, my voice shaking, my eyes locked on the note pressed against the glass. Someone had climbed up to my window. Someone had been close enough to look into my room, to see me sitting at my desk, probably watching me right now from somewhere in the darkness beyond the streetlights. I should have called the police. I should have told my parents. Instead, I peeled the note off the window and read it again and again. You're not invisible to me. The note kept coming. One in my jacket pocket at coffee shop where I studied on weekends. One slipped between the pages of my journal in my backpack. One tucked into the grocery bag when I went shopping for my mom. I found it later, nestled between the cereal boxes. Each one was more intimate than the last. I love how you tuck your hair behind your ear when you're concentrating. You did it 17 times while reading today. You ordered the same coffee 3 days in a row. Vanilla latte, extra foam, no sugar. You drink it too fast, like you're afraid someone will take it from you. Last night you couldn't sleep. I saw your light on after 2 in the morning. You were reading that fantasy novel again, the one with the dragon on the cover. It's your first time through it. You go back to the parts that make you feel brave. I started making lists, trying to figure out who it could be. The girls were my first suspects. This felt exactly like their style. Intimate enough to be creepy, detailed enough to make me paranoid. I imagined them taking turns following me, documenting my every move, laughing about it in Serena's basement. But then I found a note that changed everything. It was in my locker again, but this time it was longer, more detailed. You think they're behind us. I see you watching them, trying to catch them in the act. But Emma, they don't see you the way I do. When they look at you, they see someone they can use, someone to make themselves feel powerful. They don't notice that you mouth the words when you read. They don't know that you keep a smooth stone in your pocket that you rub when you're anxious. They don't know that you cry quietly without making a sound because you learned a long time ago that no one comes when you're loud. They're cruel. They're cruel to you because they're empty, but I see the truth. You're extraordinary. You're a secret the whole world is too blind to notice. But I'm not blind, Emma. I've been watching. I've been waiting. I read it in the hallway, my back pressed against the locker, and felt something dangerous bloom in my chest. Hope. Someone saw me, really saw me. Not the invisible girl who ate lunch alone in the library. Not the target who walked the hallways with her shoulders lunged. Someone had been paying attention, close, careful attention, and they thought I was extraordinary. For the first time in years, I felt chosen. I stopped jumping at shadows. I stopped checking over my shoulder. When the next note appeared, you smiled today when you thought no one was looking. I wish you'd smile more. I actually did smile, holding the paper against my chest like a secret. The notes became my lifeline, proof that I mattered to someone, proof that I wasn't as invisible as I felt. I started writing back. I left a note in my locker. Who are you? The response came the next day. Someone who understands you, someone who cares. Isn't that enough? Why won't you talk to me in person? Because then I'd be real, and you'd be disappointed. This way, I can be exactly what you need. I should have been terrified. I should have recognized the red flags, the stalking, the violation of privacy, the obvious monitoring. But I'd been invisible for so long that being seen felt like oxygen. It happened on a Friday. Madison, Bree, and Serena were driving back from a party in the next town over. Madison was behind the wheel of her father's BMW. The same car she'd accidentally splashed mud on me with last month. According to the news, she lost control on a sharp curve. The car went through the guardrail and down the embankment. All three of them dead on impact. The school held an assembly. The principal spoke about fragility of life, about cherishing every moment. Girls who'd never been friends of Madison sobbed in their sleeves. Boys who'd barely spoken to them posted long, heartfelt tributes on social media. I sat in the auditorium, hands folded in my lap, and felt nothing. No, that's not true. I felt relief, bone deep, shameful relief. They couldn't hurt me anymore. They couldn't whisper about me, couldn't laugh at me, couldn't make me feel small. I was free. I went through the motions. I signed the memorial poster in the hallway. I attended the candlelight vigil, holding my candle and bowing my head at the appropriate moments. I even cried acceptable tears that made me look appropriately grief-stricken. But that night, alone in my room, I felt lighter than I had in years. The note appeared an hour later. It wasn't in my locker this time, or tucked into a book. It was slipped under my bedroom door. The cream paper starked against my dark wood floor. My blood went cold. My parents were downstairs watching TV. The doors were locked, the alarm was set, but someone had been inside my house. Someone had walked up the stairs and slipped this note under my door while I sat on my bed, 5 feet away. My hands shook as I unfolded it. I did it for you. I saw how they hurt you, how they made you small, how they took up all the space in the room and left none for you. I couldn't let it continue. The brake line was easy, easier than I thought it would be. Madison always parked in the same spot, always left her car unlocked. It took less than 10 minutes. I did it for you, Emma, because you deserve to be free, because they didn't deserve you. You're mine now, mine to protect, mine to watch, mine to keep safe. But don't be afraid, I'd never hurt you, unless you try to leave. The paper slipped from my fingers. He killed them? The person who'd been writing me love letters, who'd been watching me, who made me feel seen and special and chosen. He'd murdered 3 people for me, because of me. I ran to my window, pressing my face against the glass, searching the darkness for any sign of movement. The street was empty, the neighbors' houses were dark, but I knew he was out there somewhere, watching. He was always watching. My phone buzzed, a text from an unknown number. I saw you looking for me. You are beautiful when you're scared. I dropped the phone like it had burned me. Another text. We were connected now, Emma. Blood connects us. Their blood. Don't you see, I've proven how much I care. Most people just say the words. I took action. My breath came in short, sharp gasps. I grabbed my phone with shaking hands and tried to dial 911. But another text came through before I could. If you call the police, I'll know. I'm always watching, remember? If you try to tell anyone about the notes, about me, about what I did, well, your parents are downstairs right now. Your mom is drinking tea. Your dad is reading something on his tablet. They look so peaceful. It would be a shame to disturb that peace. The phone fell from my hand. He was watching right now. He could see into my house, could see my family, could see everything. I thought about the notes, all these details about my life, my routines, my coffee order, my reading habits, the times I couldn't sleep. I'd thought they were proof that someone cared. But they weren't love letters. They were evidence, documentations of obsession. I'd felt chosen, special, seen. I'd been so hungry to be noticed that I'd mistaken surveillance for affection, stalking for devotion, control for care. Another note appeared under my door. I stared at it for a long moment before picking it up with trembling hands. Tomorrow, wear the green sweater, the one I like, and smile when you walk through the hallways. I want everyone to see how beautiful you are. I want them to know you belong to me. Sweet dreams, Emma. I'll be watching. I sank into my bed, the note clutched in my fist, and finally understood the truth. The notes were never meant to make me feel loved. They were meant to make me feel owned. And if he was willing to kill 3 people just to free me from their cruelty, what would he do if I tried to free myself from him? I looked at my closed bedroom door. Downstairs I could hear the faint sounds of the television, my parents' voices murmuring to each other, normal, safe, unaware that their daughter was trapped in a cage made of cream-colored paper and obsessive devotion. I walked to my dresser, pulled out the green sweater. Tomorrow I would wear it. I would smile in the hallways. I would play the part he'd written for me. Because now I understood. I wasn't the girl who'd been chosen. I was the girl who'd been claimed. And there was no escape from someone who was always, always watching. If tonight's story stayed with you, become part of the Pink Collective by liking, commenting, and subscribing. Until next time, Pink Collective, stay curious, stay safe, and stay pink. And remember, safety first. Just kidding. Coffee first, safety's like further forth.